Okay, so I mentioned in the email, this is a HIIT workout. I'm going to change the angle of the camera. So HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. You guys all know this. So the interval training we're going to be doing today is 60 and 20. So 60 seconds of something challenging, 20 seconds of what's called active rest. Oh, here's one more joining. This is Marty. Great. Okay, but let's just start by warming up. Just basic stuff here. So 30 seconds on each thing. Start with squats. So sit down and stand up. And just push from the heels. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit more. There we go. Good squats, keeping your chest up. Okay, heel taps. So just catching your heels. And if you're feeling energetic, maybe jogging it. I'm going to end up knocking my mic off if I do that. To get our heart rates up. Okay, speed skates, so step wide, side lunge, touch the opposite knee or foot, and turn your upper body, get your shoulder blades to move around. Really pushing with your feet. Good, and come on down into a plank. Nice long lines. Shoulder blades into your back. Gaze forward just a little bit so we're not rounding the back in any way. And slow down your breathing. Just think of long lines with your body, really pushing back with the heels, leading ahead with the crown of the head. And lift up and back into downward dog. Take a moment to stretch that out. Finding your hamstrings, your calves. And really sinking the chest towards the mat. Good, and then just walk that forward. Roll up to standing up. And we'll come back to our squats. So sit down, stand up. Almost like you're jumping, so you're really pushing with the feet to power it back up. Really feeling your strength. Good, the heel taps. Walking or jogging. Do try to catch your heels. You'll find that you'll engage more hamstrings that way. I see more in jogging. Awesome. And speed skates. I see a comment in chat. Okay, got it. My joints are clicking and clacking. And into your plank. Nice long lines. Clock the meeting. And into downward dog, stretching out your back, everything in the back. Again, let's block yourself forward. Roll up to standing up. Shoelaces are coming undone. Take a quick sip of water. I'll walk you through the first circuit. Here we go. So as I said earlier, it's a HIIT circuit. So these are designed to spike your heart rate, push you a little bit for the 60 seconds of the hard work. And then you get 20 seconds of what's called active rest, which is still work, but just calmer to try to recover your heart rate. It's like a Tabata, but we're using the timing of 60-20. Okay, so the active rest is the same. There's 3 main exercises, 3-minute long exercises, and the active rest of 20 seconds in between will be the same each time. So for our first circuit, the 3 exercises are, I'm going to put my right leg forward and do thigh circles. I'm going to take my weight, bend both knees, take it underneath, and stand up. So I'm circling around my thigh. So that's for a minute. The active rest in between is triceps overhead. So hold your weight up, no matter what weight it is. You could use 2 weights here if you wanted, but just that tricep press, okay? The second exercise is a squat push. So you're going to squat and push the weight out for 60 seconds. Keeping nice and tall with your spine, triceps overhead. And then the third exercise is your left leg forward, thigh circles. So coming down with both knees and straightening both knees. And we're going to roll through that twice, okay? So it will take 8 minutes. And then we'll take a good rest and we'll move on to the next circuit. Okay, you guys ready? Got your weight? I'm just working with 5-pound weights and I've been getting pretty good workouts in. It seems to do the trick. All right, so I'm going to step my right foot forward. My left foot is back. It's a split lunge, so bending both knees. Here we go for 60 seconds. Make sure the front knee isn't going ahead of your foot. So it needs to stay right over your ankle. Definitely an element of balance to this. Just keep your gaze forward and your shoulders back, making the legs do the work. So we're not lowering the upper body over, keeping the upper body very vertical. And it's the knees bending and straightening. I'm taking a little breath out each time I stand up, just to coordinate my breathing with the movement. Oh yeah, starting to feel the hamstrings on this right leg. Woo, active rest, hold your weight up overhead, tricep extension. Back in the day, they used to call this skull crusher. One of those horrible names for exercises, which I quickly called out of my vocabulary. Things are hard enough without putting bad names on them. Squat and push. Squat, push it out, stand up. It's like you're scooping up water. You really do have to coordinate your breathing with the movement, or else you'll get gassed. You'll run out of breath. My heart's beating. Okay, active rest. Arms straight up, elbows stay beside your head. So don't let the elbows wing out, keep them pointing forward. And take deep breaths in and out to try to calm the heart rate. Okay, left leg forward. So thigh circles around the left thigh. And I see there's a comment in chat, so I'm going to go see what that is. Oh, good music, Moyen, says Jennifer. Okay. Great. Yeah, music really does help, doesn't it? Keeps our mood up, distracts our mind a little bit, makes it fun. Whoop. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the hamstrings on the left. Here we go. Match set. Awesome. Active rest, arms up overhead. If your weight isn't heavy, just hold it at the back for an extra second and then push it up. So you get just that much more engagement of your triceps. Okay, we're half done, guys. We're back to the start. All right. So right leg forward, come into your split stance and do your thigh circles. In danger of losing the mic. Get that in there. Starts to build. Some minutes are longer than others. There we go. So for my triceps this time, I'm going to take 2 weights just to make it a little more challenging, get a little more engagement. That's 30 seconds, or 20 seconds rather here. Okay, so your squat push. Squat, push the weights out, stand up. Keep your chest up, your gaze forward. Really squeeze your glutes when you stand up. And lift your chest. All right, triceps overhead. Try to slow down your heart rate. Good. Last minute here. Left leg forward, thigh circles, bending the knees, straightening the knees, not rounding your back in any way, so your gaze is forward. In fact, try to find a squeeze into your back. Shoulder blades squeezing together. You don't have to go super fast with this either. Take your time coming down, as long as you're keeping good form, keeping the eyes up. Oof. It's building. Okay, last set of triceps. Grabbing my 2 weights and trying to slow down my heart rate. Oh, wow. There we go. Happy timer. That circuit's done. So let's give ourselves a good minute to recover, get some water. Tilt the camera down a little more. Okay. So next circuit, we get to lay on our backs. I figured that would be a good balance to what we just did with the legs. So this is all core. And your active rest between each minute for 20 seconds is bridge pose, so lifting up and down with your hips. And here's the 3 exercises that we'll be doing. So first one is leg lowers. You might want to tuck your hands underneath your hips, legs straight, keep your waist into the mat and lower down nice and slow, and lift it up nice and slow. If you've got anything going on in your low back, alternate, keeping one leg up. Get the same benefit without taxing your back. Okay, that's the first exercise. Second one is bicycles. So curling, trying to bring your shoulder to your knee, not your elbow. And just switching and pushing out with the feet. Bridge is the rest in between. Good reason. And the last one is a crisscross. So kind of like the leg lowers in terms of holding the lower back safely. But you're going to take your legs apart, cross them, and then cross them. And the lower down, of course, the harder this is. But again, if there's anything going on in the back, take the legs, sort of up to vertical, and you'll still feel the work in the inner thighs. Okay, you guys ready? Down on your mats. So first one is leg lowers, and just same thing, we're gonna roll through this twice. And at any point, if you need to take a break, of course you can, and just come back to it. All right, so here we go. There's your start, starting with leg lowers, slowly lowering down, and slowly lifting up. And just trying to keep that contact of the small of the back into the mat. To only lower as far as you can maintain that contact of the low back. Nice and slow. And again, if there's something going on in your back, keep one leg up as you lower the other one down, and then switch. And that keeps the lower back in a neutral position. Yeah, I'm starting to feel my lower abs. That's good. Nice and slow. Try to keep your feet flexed. And just be grateful that you're laying down, not doing leg stuff. Well, sort of leg stuff, I guess. We're lifting our legs up and down. Okay, bridge. So feet on the mat, roll up into bridge, hip press, and articulate down. Just go up and down a few times. You can stay up there and shimmy side to side, or you can keep going up and down. Okay, bicycles. Here we go. Pedaling, pushing out with your feet, rocking the upper body so your shoulder blade is coming off the mat on one side and then the other. And your eyes are looking straight up. You can kind of push your head into your hands to keep the neck from getting tired. Oh my goodness, this is going to build. Wow. Love it. Again, one of the great things about working with Zoom is you're in the privacy of your own home. If you need to stop for a second, honor that, and then come back. Kind of coaching yourself through it. Try to keep your neck long. Just keep that rocking going. Oh my gosh, there we go. Hip press again, lifting up, carefully coming down. feels good. Okay, the crisscross. So hands under the back of the hips again. Take your legs up, whatever angle from you. Take them apart and then cross them over each other. Take them apart again and change which leg goes on top. And again, keeping your waist pressing into the mat. I picked up this move from a Kundalini yoga class. They had us do this for 3 minutes. Thought I was going to die. So this is just a minute. We can do that. Feeling the quads working, the inner thighs. Oh, roll up and down in your bridge. Stretch that out. Nice and high with the hips. Pause up there to really get into the hip flexors. Okay, so we are half done. Back to leg lowers. So getting the hands underneath the glutes, slowly lowering down, slowly lifting up. Nice long legs. And going pretty slow with this. Pushing out with your heels. I've switched to alternating legs, just feels a little better for my back today. All right, hip press. Feet on the mat, rolling the hips up, rounding back, down. And now our bicycles. Let's see if we can do this for a minute. Eyes looking up. If you were riding a bike, you'd be pushing and pulling with your feet, right? So have that sense when you're pulling one foot back that you're strongly pushing out with the other leg. If you had clips on, you'd be pulling back. So using your hamstrings as you pull back, using your quads as you push out. Good, good, good. Doing great, guys. 20 seconds to go. I'm feeling that. Oh boy. Upper abs, obliques. Awesome. Hip press up and down. Stretching out your hip flexors, stretching out your abs and your quads. Good, okay. Last minute here. Hands under your hips again. Lift the legs in whatever angle, cross them over top, take them apart, cross again. Ooh, really feeling my inner thighs. Feeling everything. Stay with it as long as you can. Take a break though if you need to. Wow. Last bridge. Lift your hips up and down. 20 seconds. Stretching it out. Lovely stretch here. All right, that circuit's done. It's dangerous though. You don't want to get up, do you? We got to get up. Get some water. Okay, we have one circuit left. Let me turn the camera back up right again. That's all right. Okay, so we're going to use our two weights with this one. And it's the same thing, 60 and 20. So the first exercise is a back lunge, and your weights are just for ballast, kind of like a farmer's carry. So you take a step back with one leg, and then you stand back up. Okay, so that's the pattern for 1 minute. Your active rest here is bicep curls, so turn your palms forward and just curl up and down. Get that full range of motion, bracing your core. Your second exercise is a squat and shoulder press. So I'll turn and face you. So weights above your elbows, squat and push. Okay, 60 seconds, bicep curls, active rest. And then your last minute is stepping back with the other leg. So back lunge is a bit challenging because you can't see where you're going. So take your time, find your spot, and then commit to the lunge, okay? So it's our last circuit. 8 minutes, and then we'll be done. We'll be stretching. So I always like to know, how much longer do I have to do this? Okay, so if you have a mat, start up at the top of the mat. Got lots of mat behind you. Here we go, gaze forward, find your spot, and commit to the lunge, and then stand back up. Eventually, it gets a little more fluid. You've got the pattern in your body. Good. Looks good, guys. Good lunges. Okay, your bicep curls, so just turn your palms up, curl up and down, nice and slow and controlled. And again, even if the weights aren't the heaviest that you could manage, the slower you go, the more you get out of it. And you can also give your weights a little squeeze. Okay, so second exercise, squat and shoulder press. So sit back in your squat and push the weights overhead. Breathe out at the top. Dynamically add that breath so you can keep going. Ooh, that was a long minute. Bicep curls. Kind of hug your arms into your sides. Keep your chest lifted. Try to slow down your heart rate. Okay, just let the weights rest in your hands and come into your back lunge with your other leg. So I'm now stepping back with my left leg, finding the spot, and then committing to the lunge. Front knee, you want to make sure that front knee is staying right over your ankle. Again, that it's not moving ahead of your toe. And the back leg is bending to a right angle. And if you can see yourself on your computer or your iPad, you can actually watch your own form. If you turn sideways. Good, good. Bicep curls. Slowly up, slowly down. Getting the heart rate to slow down. And we're half done this circuit. Just 4 minutes left here. Okay, back to the top of your mat. I'm going to step back with my opposite leg now. So my right leg is going back. And I'm standing up. No matter what weights you're holding, this just kind of grounds you, pulls your arms down, your shoulders down into your back. Those of you with shoulder things going on, you know, you can leave out anything that's irritating the shoulder. Like if the shoulder press isn't good for you, then don't do it. Got to look after yourself while you train. Ooh, okay, bicep curls. Nice and controlled. So you're not using gravity or momentum. You're using your muscles. Good. And squat and shoulder press. So sit down in your squat and push. I like that satisfying little clunk when you connect them overhead. Apparently that does irritate some people in the gym, so. But you're in your home, so it doesn't matter. You can make whatever noise you want. Good squats. Keep going, guys. I know this is a long minute, but we'll get done soon. Just keep breathing out. Awesome. Bicep curls. Whew. Those squats really get your heart rate up. Okay, we have one side left to do. So back up to the top of your mat. I'm stepping back with my left leg, so changing legs. And I almost fall down. Take your time, find the spot. You want to make sure that foot's going straight back from your hip, not behind the front foot. Good. Nice. Perfect form, guys. Eyes are forward. Love it. Good posture, Sybil. Looks great. Wow. Wow. Bicep curls, last 20 seconds. Squeeze, squeeze your weights. Calm your heart. Nice job, you're done. Maybe circle the weights around and stretch out your arms. Let's put your weights down. Get some water, wipe your face. That's a good feeling. Whew. Okay, we did a lot of core and a lot of quads today. So let's stand by something that you can hold on to. Pick the opposite ankle up and thread the leg back. And we want to try to keep the knees together. And then do a little bit of pulsing. So pulling that back and then releasing it. Figure out a better way to get this mic hooked on. I keep feeling like it's going to slip off on me. Okay, let's change legs. And that pulsing, pulling the shoulder blade into your back. So kind of getting into your hip flexor and maybe into your abs a little bit too. And then let that go and just come down into a forward fold. So sliding your hands down your legs, head upside down, and pedal the legs a little bit, let your hips move side to side. And you might want to grab the opposite elbows and completely dangle the upper body, let the arms kind of swing. And if you're finding a spot or two that's particularly tight, stay there a little longer. And slowing it all down. And then come on down onto the mat on your hands and knees. And we'll do some cat-cow. So round your back, pushing the hands into the mat, pulling the lower abs in, and stay in your cat for a little bit. Just sway your body side to side, getting into your back and your hips. And then get back in the middle, come back to neutral table. Turn the hands on a 45-degree angle towards each other, and then bend your elbows, sink your chest down, and squeeze your back, looking forward. Maybe getting a little stretch into your upper abs. And then move through that with your breath. So inhale to neutral, leave the hands where they are, and exhale, come into cat. Inhale, neutral. Exhale into cow. Close your eyes, just do that a couple more times. And then we'll walk the hands ahead and pull back into downward dog. It might feel a little different than it did 45 minutes ago. Pedal it out. Take your right leg up and back and come into pigeon on the right side. So right knee up towards the right wrist. If your knee's okay. If your knee is not happy with that, bring the knee into the middle of the mat and sit down on your right hip. Okay. So always managing to get the work done, but safely. And you can stay up on your hands or fold over. Maybe do a little rocking, taking the right hip a little more to the mat and then coming back so the hips are parallel. Really slow down your heart rate. Deep breaths in, full breaths out. And then we'll lift up and back into downward dog again. And take your left leg up and behind you and look ahead, coming into pigeon on the left side. Trying to slide your right knee a little further back so you're really opening the front of the right hip and the back of the left hip. Again, whatever variation works for you here. Just giving a little more time in pigeon to get lots of layers to release. Good. Okay, come on back into downward dog. And just bring your knees down. We'll switch around to laying down on your back. And put your feet wide on the sides of your mat. So feet wide, knees bent. And let's take the arms up overhead. And just open into the shoulders. And do some slow knee sways, taking the knees to the right, pushing out with your left knee, lifting the left hip and finding that quad. And then bring the knees back up and go to the left and work on your right thigh. So just roll through this a few more times. Go as slow as you like. Pause on whichever part feels needed. Again, getting into those quads that we did a lot of lunges today, a lot of squats, and a lot of core that got into the hip flexors as well. Okay, let's bring the knees back up. Let's take your right leg up in the air. Just grab the back of the leg wherever you can reach. Might be your hamstrings, it might be your calf or the back of your knee. Try to straighten the knee, flex the foot, and then soften the knee. So just pushing out with the heel, flexing the foot back towards the shin, and pulsing there, straightening the knee and softening the knee. Good, and then just bend your right knee. We'll come into a twist to the left. So grab your right knee with your left hand and roll over onto your left hip. Open your right arm out to the right with the palm up. And just give a little bit of stretch into your biceps that you worked today, into your chest and your shoulder. You can play a little bit, pull the right knee a little closer, move it away. And slowly come out of that twist. And we'll change legs. So let your right leg go down, take the left leg up, get a good grip on the back of the leg. Use the hands to assist the work. So straightening the knee, pushing the leg into the hands are resisting, and then relaxing. Straighten the knee and then soften the knee. You can do a little self-massage here with your fingers, wherever it is your hands are. They can just kind of dig into the hamstrings or dig into the calves, kind of rock side to side as you're pulsing. Wow, really feeling my calf here. Okay, let's bend that left knee and come on over into the twist to the right. So rolling onto your right hip, opening the left arm out to the left, maybe turning your head to the left. And that little bit of play, pulling the knee closer, moving the knee away. Pausing on any part that feels tight. And then come out of your twist. And we'll put the feet down on the sides of the mat again. So make sure you're centered on your mat. So your knees are bent, feet are wide. Let's roll up into a wide bridge here. So lifting the hips up, Taking a bit of pressure into your upper back and shoulders, it's kind of nice. And then just stay up here and shift your hips left and right slowly. And really get into the quads and the hip flexors again. Just swaying the hips side to side. The knees are following. And then bring yourself back down. We'll come into bound angle, soles of the feet together, knees hanging wide apart. Take your arms out from your sides and bend your elbows so the hands are in the air and the elbows are on the floor. Make little fists with your hands. So two things here. We're going to squeeze the feet into each other, feeling the adductors working, and then push the elbows down into the floor to feel your back working. And then exhale and release both. So inhale, squeeze, pushing the feet firmly together, pushing down into the floor. And exhale and release. 3 more times. Inhale, squeeze, maybe pushing the feet into the mat and lifting the hips slightly off the mat. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. And one more. Inhale, squeeze, keeping your neck long. And exhale and release. Reach down and scoop your knees together. And let's just come into a little ball. Rock on your back. Actually, let's just roll up to sitting for a moment and attend to our hamstrings as well. So they're the unsung heroes. Quite often we're very aware of the quads doing a lot of work, but the hamstrings are the synergists. They're working too. So legs straight ahead, feet flexed, sitting nice and tall. So let's weave the fingers together, push the heels of the hands forward, and then lift the arms up overhead. And really reach up. Push out with the heels of the feet and the heels of the hands. So your gaze is forward right now. Keep this perfect posture in your upper body and just hinge at the hips. So we're just hinging until the hamstrings start to talk to us. Inhale and lift out of that. Exhale, lean in again. So we're not rounding the back at all. This might be a really small movement. That's okay. Inhale, lift out. Exhale, lean in. And then let it go. Bring the hands down to the mat and start to round your back now. Let the chin come down. Rounding one little bit at a time. And it's quite interesting when you kind of reach the edge where you suddenly feel a jolt up the back of the legs. Okay, that's my edge. Don't need to go further. Just breathe through it. Just finding everything in the back of your legs, right from the base of the calves, behind the knees, up to the hips. And just sit here for a few more breaths and just notice. You might think, oh boy, that's it. I'm not getting any further. And then suddenly you can soften a little more. Just wait for it. And then stay folded over, but look ahead, cross your arms and grab the outside of the opposite leg with your hands, wherever you can get to. It might be your knees, calves, ankles, whatever you're at. And just gently encourage yourself to come a little closer to your legs. Lift up a little bit, sink in a little bit. And come all the way back up. And then let's come around and lay down on the front of your body. So right down on your hips and your chest. And we'll reach back and find your right leg with your right hand. Back there somewhere. Try to keep your knees together. And this is like the standing quad stretch that we did at the beginning of the stretch down, the cool down. So find a little bit of pulsing here. So really push your hip flexor into the floor and then relax it. So I'm lengthening, pushing down with my hip and releasing. And if anyone's finding this really easy, try lifting your knee off the mat as you push the hip into the mat and then release. Okay, let go of that right leg. Put your right forearm in front of you. Reach back and find your left leg. Same idea. That little bit of pulsing, pushing the hip into the mat and releasing. And just keep your lower abs braced a little bit so you're not overarching the low back. Very subtle. If I could see you, I probably couldn't really tell if you're pulsing or not, but you can feel that. It's like we're pumping the blood into these tight spots. Good, let it go. Put your hands on the mat beside your ribs, push to lift yourself up and back, and take a really nice stretch for your back in puppy pose. So arms are ahead, elbows are off the mat, you're pushing forward with the hands, sinking the chest down, and try to pull the shoulder blades into your back and try to pull the front ribs in and just lengthen into your back. Feel that traction in your shoulders. Maybe swaying the hips left and right, getting a nice stretch into the sides. Good, and then come on back up and we'll switch around to laying on your back again. That's good. We'll take the legs down and take your arms up overhead. And we're going to come into a side bend so we can get into our outer quads and our IT band. So shift your shoulders and your arms to the right. So kind of pointing them off the right side of the mat. Take your feet to the right and hook your left ankle on top of your right ankle. And maybe grab your left wrist with your right hand. And if you're not feeling a lot, move the feet a little further to the right. If it's too much, back up. And you can assist by pulling on that left arm as you breathe in, relaxing it as you breathe out. Really try to soften into the left side of your body. All right, slowly come out of that. Get back into the middle of your mat. And we'll build it the other way. So shift your shoulders and arms off to the left. Take your feet to the left, right ankle on top. Ooh, yeah, feeling it on this side. And again, maybe assisting, pulling on the right wrist, right arm with your left hand. Just focus on your breathing. Letting the breath be really slow and even. And then slowly come out of that side bend. Back into the middle of your mat. And just organize yourself now for Shavasana. Legs a little bit apart. Lift your chest and tuck your shoulders under and let your arms rest with your palms up. And just kind of getting a sense of symmetry in your body, left side, right side. Close your eyes and just take a few more rounds of deep breathing. So taking a long draft in of the breath, like you're drinking it in, and maybe sighing it out through your mouth. Take a few more rounds of that, just very enjoyable deep breath. And begin to move your hands and your feet. Stretch out your arms and legs. Come into any stretch that feels helpful to you. Maybe hugging your knees, rocking on your back. And roll up to sitting up. Thank you for putting in good effort and good form today in the workout. I appreciate you being here and sticking with the HIIT, because that does take a certain stamina. Have a good rest of your day. Namaste.